Hello again. Well, I decided to build a sound car. I do like sound with my engines, and I recently acquired a Kato RS2, installed the K2 D4 DCC board from TCS, but no sound. So thought we would take on a little bit of a sound car project. Looked around the internet, and I could find nothing that really kind of detailed it. So I kind of wanted to go through step by step of what I did to do it, and this is my first. So the I'll call it a sound bug. No motor control at all, just sound. Decided to use the MRC 1909. That's the diesel version. Engine has an Alco in it. They've got a good Alco sound on there. So I'll show you the parts that I rounded up, and we'll start this project. Okay, here are the parts that I've rounded up. Start with decided to use a Microtrains plug door box car. If you use one with the sliding doors, you need to seal it up, I understand. So the frame, I already removed the trucks, as we'll be using some parts from sbsdcc shop. The MRC 1909 diesel, 28 millimeter. Lots of volume, I will say. I've been playing around. It had a connector in here. I had to wind up, I broke it actually, and then cut it off. I was playing around with some other speakers. This is a little bit large. We have to use a different speaker. We don't have to. Well, maybe it could get by with something else. But I cut it. I was playing around with different speakers on this. The Digitrax was the ones I was playing with, 13 millimeter, and then their oval speaker. I would say by not changing any CVs in there to change the volume at all, the sound in these were reduced probably 80 to 90%. I'm hoping that we can get a little bit better than that. Now the rest of the parts came from sbsdcc.com. Brian there, and he sells a little sugar cube to put that together. No wires. We're going to have to solder some leads onto that. We're going to give that a test. I bought the trucks that he put together, wired and everything. You can buy just the kit and put these together yourself. These are Microtrain trucks. Now he sells this as a kit, like I say, and he uses instead of a push pin, you have to drill and tap out the frame here to get your truck up on there. So I got two of those from him. I got the larger capacitor. He recommends. I need to talk to him a little bit about why. He does have a set of detailed instruction PDF file. I was hoping they'd be in the box. I read them one time, and I've misplaced them. Tried looking for them and couldn't find them. So, a couple of real quick comments on the sound bug. You should do the programming with the train on the track, but I noticed that there's some CVs that kind of both the DCC card and the sound bug use the same one. CV49 comes to mention, and every time I would change the volume here, which is CV49 here, would change the lighting in the Alco RS2. So a little more reading, I finally figured out, set your train up, set your card up, and then there's a CV in there. You can go in and lock that so nothing else will affect it. Then you can put it on the track and you can program your sound bug. And this one here I think has 6 different diesel sounds, some different bells and whatever. So we will test this one out. Here's the 28 strand 30 gauge wire that I've had. We're going to put that on the speaker. And the next thing we'll do is we will test this out. I will show you the volume on this one, and then we'll hook this one up once I get the wires and glue the sugar cube on there. We'll test this one out and see what we have. So, which it will fit in there very nicely. So, okay. Have I forgot anything? No. Okay, here we are with the 28 millimeter speaker, MRC 1909. See if we can get this thing fired up. Got the engine up and running. It's now 0. Speed the engine up a little. So, still. Coupling. Anyway, got some good sound, and like I say, I've got this turned down to about 20% of the volume that it can have. So, okay, let's take this one off. I'll put the sugar cube on, and we'll see how that one sounds. Okay, now that we have the sugar cube hooked on, don't know what we're going to expect here, but let's see if we can get this to fire up. So far, I'm impressed. Wow, if you want a little bit more, that's the CV is there to be able to turn that up a little bit. This sugar cube sounds a heck of a lot better than the 13 millimeter I was trying to make work. Very nice. I'm impressed. So this is going to work out fine in the boxcar. Okay. Well, I was impressed with the sugar cube once again. Next step is we're going to figure out how to mount the trucks on. Get that. I need to also put some holes through. My intentions is to mount the sugar cube up on this end, not in the center, but on this end. And looking at mounting the board right in this area here, I'm going to mount everything on the frame. So that way all I have to do is put the cover on and don't have to worry about wires in between. If I need to install the larger capacitor, that may be a little bit of a problem. I may have to install that in the top of the boxcar. But we're going to work on getting the holes drilled, getting the trucks mounted, and then we'll come back and we'll start assembling this part in here. Okay, we got one truck mounted on here. And the hole needs to be drilled out. Use the number 43 drill bit, which I think is 87 thousandths. and then you tap it with a 440 tap. So if you're going to put these type of trucks on, and you don't have one, Brian will have it at sbsdcc. So I drilled that one out. We drilled this one out down here. I moved back 3/16 of an inch and drilled an 1/8 inch hole for the wiring to come up from the trucks. And it's kind of tricky because he sends the truck to you this way if you get it assembled. And there's a nut on here that's holding everything together. You have to get the nut off without trying to move too much of the wipers and stuff down here. Kind of held it together by keeping my finger on that and then holding it and putting the frame back on, screwing it in there. So a little touchy, but we're going to get that. And then this here I went through and drilled some holes so we can mount the speaker in this area right here. And then my plan is, and I guess don't laugh, but I'm planning on a little Kapton tape, some hot glue, and mounting this in here at right in this area at a slight tilt, and gluing that in place in there, and then tying all the wires together. Make sure we have a little heat shrink tubing on hand. One of the other nice things that Brian does when you order these trucks, when I mount this other truck on this end, you just tie the red wires together, and they're basically on the same set of tracks, and the black wires on the other, they go to the other set of wheels for the other track, so you can't get mixed up. We'll tie those together, tie the sound decoder in there, and we should be ready to go. So let me get a little more done and I'll show you what we got. Okay, we have both trucks mounted now. The nut that you took off of the truck to start threading it back on, use that as a lock nut. I found once you screw the 440 screw all the way in and it gets tight, back it off about 1/3 of a turn, and that about the right slop that you need in there. Once you get this, also take a meter and check and make sure that you've got continuity from your wires to both wheels. I found that one of mine, and you need to adjust the wiper just a little bit, and they're fairly easy to take apart. Tweak the copper piece in there a little bit outward, and then replace the truck, and you'll be all set. Okay, we'll start getting the sound cube and the sound bug mounted on here. Okay, we have all the components mounted. Disregard the wiring because we'll clean that up here. But I tried using just some hot glue, a toothpick, and put the sugar cube in. I wasn't sure about the clearance, so I leaned this over at about a 20-degree angle or so, but that's there. Put the capacitor here, and we're ready for, I'm going to go down and start cleaning all these wires up, and then I'll show you when we have it that stage. Okay, we have the final wiring done. What I did when I had the speaker soldered on there, I had leads from the speaker up. I actually took those leads off, took the leads directly from the sound bug and wired them to the speaker. So that shortened those wires up. Then it was a case of just taking and tying all the red leads together. You have the red lead coming from this truck, the red lead coming from this truck, and you go to the other side of the resistor that's in here, and I used a piece of heat shrink tubing to one small one to where I made the solder joint, and then I put a little bit larger one over just to make sure I had everything covered over the resistor. We'll fold that down in there. Then the black wires here, the three of them, one from the sound bug, one from each truck, and kind of the secret there is strip them back about 1/4 of an inch or so and just solder them, twist them as fine as you can get them, twist them, and then just slide a piece of heat shrink over the end of it and shrink all three of them together that way, and we'll tie that one in there. So let's go down and give this a try on the track, and we'll see how it sounds. Starting it up. And that's only about 20% of the CV there I've got turned on, so I can turn it on if I need to. Okay. Sounds pretty good. Okay, to wrap this video up, I'm fairly pleased with the MRC sound bug, but I'm having troubles controlling the volume. I've tried everything. I can change the bell, I can change the horn, but the actual volume, and I'd like to adjust them just a little bit. Make the bell a little bit stronger, decrease the rumble a bit. But anyway, I'm going to actually make another video. I'm going to get a Digitrax. I'm going to kind of compare it to this one here. So we'll kind of see between the two. So it's okay. I won't say it's great. Once again, the sbsdcc products, very good. So we'll see you in the next video, and we'll compare these two together, MRC to Digitrax. Have a good day. Thank you for watching.